We started everything last year. I remember in November, exactly 1 year ago, that we start to have a visit from Shanghai MOFCOM and the Shanghai authority informing us that this November will be held this expo. And they told us, don't worry, it just will not be a new trade fair, it will be the event. After, in April in Boao, we had President Xi affirming that this expo will be a major step, landmark for opening up a reform. At the beginning it started a bit slowly, but after global headquarters back in Europe, we were contacted, consulate generals, embassy, and start to have the feeling that companies as well countries should be present here, and at this event that will start next week.
So there's about 500, I think I calculated, EU exhibitors. From what I can tell from the app and evaluating the numbers, it seems like it's the biggest group of countries are represented, or EU countries that are going to be at this expo. What are some of the products that are going to be debuted here?
But, China and EU, they are the respective primary trade partners. They trade every day almost 1 billion. And we started to hear that German pavilion is around 3,000 meters square, French 2,000, Italian 1,000 meters square. We will have robots, we will have food products, we heard that we have an automotive producer, helicopter, and so on. Definitely is an event where many companies, we heard around 2,800 companies will be present, more than 80 countries, and it's important that European companies are here because in order to try to help China to mitigate the trade deficit it got for some countries.
Are there announcements that you think are going to be made with respect to European Union sellers to China that we'll see on the back end of this expo?
We are expecting that a big deal will be signed, and we also expect that China will, especially President Xi, will make some announcement. He started in January 2017 with the famous Davos speech. After they had many others speech for high-ranking and top level from the party, they published the state document number 5 and number 39, giving the impression that China will keep the path with the reform, and we are expecting that during this expo they will have some announcement. What we really hope, besides the announcement, that they will have some timetable of the reform, because China at the moment, they said exactly who should do what and which sector, and who is appointed to do so. But what is missing is exactly a timetable within when this reform should happen.
Well, that brings me to the question. You released a report recently where your chamber talks about doing business in China. You do acknowledge that the economic reforms have sped up, but at the same time conclude that they've been incomplete and slow. What's interesting to me, coming from the U.S., and I cover the White House for our network, you have the same impatience about the pace of reform that Washington does, and yet the EU has not chosen, obviously, to put tariffs on Chinese goods. Why was that decision, from what you understand, and why would the chamber choose instead to be more confrontational, instead of doing that, doing a white paper, making suggestions to the government?
Okay, definitely we are a business association. We are the biggest association from Europe here in China, and we believe that at the moment the approach that the U.S. Trump administration is a bit stronger compared to the Europe one. Indeed, representing business, we believe to impose tariff and duties in product is not good for business. It's not good for anybody. We did an internal survey last August, beginning of September, and we got an incredible number of answers from our members, really with fast feedback. And we realized that over 53% of our members see a negative impact of this tariff on their budget.
The U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods are impacting your members.
Yes, they get caught in the crossfire because we are we are living in a globalized economy where maybe you are based in China for Chinese market, but you have a supplier maybe in U.S. or maybe somewhere else. And when you put tariff, you change the way to do business. And in fact, in our survey, we realized that 70% of our members, they decide that they will hold their investment into the Chinese market for their investment in order to see how this will develop. And we believe that should be China should be engaged in a dialogue. At the moment, we are quite happy that EU and China established at the working table in order to work in the modernization of WTO, to have a WTO 2.0, which is good because in some of the businesses they are not included. Let's put an example, e-commerce. 20 years ago, it was not there.
Is not in it,
Another example, we believe that China and the EU should sign the comprehensive agreement on investment. It's the right moment. There are lots of rounds of negotiations that are going on, and we believe in order to give more faith to and hope to the European businessmen, it's important they sign as soon as possible.
Carlo D'Andrea.